Hello everyone, my name is Xiomaro and welcome back to Apex Legends. So today Respawn posted an update and discussion on the current meta of the game, and in that post it includes upcoming changes, things they're working on, and even some changes that are on the live servers right now. So let's start with the live updates. Well, we all asked for it and Respawn answered. The Wingman and Peacekeeper have been nerfed. The spawn rate of both weapons has been reduced in all loot zones. Additionally, although unrelated to the Wingman Peacekeeper, energy ammo has had its spawn rate increased, so good news for the Devotion, Havoc and Triple Take fans. Additionally, Respawn have said that they won't be buffing the Mozambique or the P2020 anytime soon because, and I quote, "We love y'all's beak memes." Honestly, every game does need a joke, and ours is the beloved Mozambique, so fair play Respawn. But back to the nerfs. Respawn say they want to move the Wingman more towards the hand cannon space and away from the full auto deagle. And what that means in practice is two things. First, the fire rate has been reduced. Before it fired at 3.1 shots per second, and now it shoots at 2.6 per second. That's around a 16% reduction. And a side note on this, I've been working on a weapons chart with all these numbers, and this is the first time I've seen official numbers on the Wingman's fire rate. The way I measured it, the Wingman actually fired faster than Respawn said it did. Naturally, I went on the assumption that I must have measured it incorrectly, but I've gone back into the sound and video files I measured from, and no matter how I measure it, I get the same result I did the first time. And that's when I'm actually trying to get the 3.1 shots per second result. But no, it just keeps coming up somewhere between 3.6 and 3.7. I then measured the fire rate with these changes, and it still comes up faster than what they say. It's supposed to be 2.6, but no matter how I measure it, it comes closer to 3.1. What's strange is the audio and visual indicators in-game match up perfectly. When I measure them, they both give the same result, but it's not 2.6, it's closer to 3.1. Needless to say, I'm gonna keep working on it, but in any case, there is one thing that matches up between the official numbers and my measurements, and that's that it's a 16% nerf to the Wingman's fire rate. But the rate of fire isn't the only change. The effects of the Skull Piercer on the Wingman have also been nerfed. The headshot modifier with a Skull Piercer before the changes was 2.5, but it's now been reduced to 2.25. That means that Skull Piercer headshots will now hit for 101.25 instead of 112.5. So that's obviously a nerf, but what does it mean in practice? Well, it changes two key breakpoints, and they're both with a level 1 helmet. One is when you have no armor. Before, a Skull Piercer Wingman would one-shot someone with no armor and a level 1 helmet. It now takes 2 headshots, or a headshot and a body shot. The second breakpoint that's changed is when you have level 3 armor and a level 1 helmet. Before, you could kill someone with that setup in 2 headshots. It now takes 3. Obviously, when you mix together headshots and body shots as you would in a real fight, it's a little more complicated than that. Especially when you factor in people taking damage from other sources, or maybe they don't have full armor to begin with. But in terms of raw damage per second, it's a 16% nerf to body shots and a 25% nerf to headshot DPS with a Skull Piercer. Another change that could have a big effect is the change to the hipfire. Respawn have increased the base hipfire spread and decreased the rate at which the hipfire spread decays. Essentially, this means the Wingman will be less effective while hipfiring. One thing this change doesn't address is the Wingman's incredible movement speed while aiming down sights. So worry not, Wingman users, the Wingman will still be very strong. So that's enough about the Wingman. What about the Peacekeeper? Well, the only change here is to the effects of the shotgun bolt. In case you didn't know, the shotgun bolt increases the rate of fire for all shotguns. A level 1 increases your rate of fire by 10%, level 2 by 20%, and level 3 increases your rate of fire by 25%. That remains the same for all the other shotguns, but the Peacekeeper now gets a lesser effect from shotgun bolts. It now gets a 7.5%, 13% and 16% increase to rate of fire from the level 1, 2 and 3 bolt respectively. This change leaves the Peacekeeper user with slightly longer windows of vulnerability between shots. And in terms of raw DPS, with a purple shotgun bolt, this translates to a 7.2% DPS reduction compared to before. Moving on, Respawn have also given us a preview of upcoming legend changes. Bear in mind, none of these are live just yet, but we'll be seeing the following changes in Season 1. Firstly, hitboxes. Respawn say the different model sizes, or rigs as they call them, are by design, so Gibraltar will remain a big boy for the time being. What they are going to do, however, is try to match the hitboxes more closely to each legend. And there's one legend in particular who's going to benefit a lot from this, and that's my personal most played character, Pathfinder. Needless to say, I, and I'm sure every other Pathfinder player, is really excited to hear about this. Respawn added that they'll keep evaluating the situation, and if the improved hitboxes don't solve the problem, they'll look into natural damage reduction for the bigger characters. So fear not, Gibraltar mains, you're going to get the fix you deserve eventually. Alongside the hitbox updates, we've been given a preview of some other legend changes. Caustic is getting a number of buffs to his traps, including a cooldown reduction, radius increase, and a removal of the 1 second delay before enemies take damage from the gas. This means Caustic players will be able to get their traps up faster, they'll be triggered from further away, and the gas cloud will be a little bigger and start dealing damage sooner. Pathfinder is getting a buff to his passive Insider Knowledge. They're increasing the number of beacons from 10 to 12. Lifeline, if you didn't know, actually has a chance to spawn level 4 armor and helmets from her ultimate right now. I play her quite a lot, and I've personally never seen this happen, but this chance is going to be removed altogether in Season 1, so no more level 4 gear for Lifeline and friends. Wraith is going to be getting an increased cooldown on her tactical ability, so maybe that will go some way towards addressing how slippery she can be. And finally, Bangalore is getting a nerf to her passive. Once Season 1 goes live, she'll get a 30% increase to her movement speed instead of 40% after being shot at. And that just about does it for the latest dev update. There are a few other things in there, like fixes to some disconnect bugs, so if you want to have a full read of the dev update, I'll leave a link in the video description. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then please feel free to subscribe for more gaming guides, news, and discussion. And don't forget to check out the links below to Patreon, Discord, and Twitch. Until next time, thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.